The final day of the Frisco College Baseball Classic and the 292nd meeting all time between Kansas State and Nebraska. One of these teams improves to 2-1 on the weekend. Alongside Mike Harge, I'm Chris Maikoski. Let's start, Hargy, with Kansas State. A heartbreaker of a loss on Friday, inches away from beating the second-ranked LSU Tigers. They responded well on Saturday.
They absolutely did. The Wildcats responded after that Friday's loss and coming back by pounding the baseball and scoring 14 runs, and also got an outstanding pitching performance.
As for Nebraska, got up big on LSU yesterday. Things were looking really good for the Huskers. But when you give up a 6-spot late, you feel like the wheels fall off a little bit there.
Yeah, and that's the beautiful thing about baseball. You get a chance to come back and rebound and get a win on this beautiful day, and that way your weekend gets a lot better if you can pull off the victory.
These teams know each other so well from their history. Their fan bases, more importantly, know each other well. Long-time rivalry in the Big 8 and the Big 12, renewed here today at the Frisco College Baseball Classic. Let's take a look at the starting nine for the designated visiting team in this contest, the Kansas State Wildcats. They'll get things started with Maximus Martin. The shortstop is hitting a team-leading .423. Then it's Shintaro Inoue, the second baseman. He had a home run into the splash zone yesterday. D. Kennedy at third, Seth Dardar at DH. They went with back-to-back jacks on Friday against LSU. Bear Madliak is the catcher. Nick English in right. A.J. Avasco plays first base today. He had a couple of runs batted in Saturday versus Sam Houston. Keegan O'Connor in left. He had a 2-run homer against the Bearcats. And Kyan Lotus, who hit leadoff yesterday, bats in the 9-hole today and plays in center. Here's our umpiring crew in this one. Eddie Newsom is behind the plate. Mike Morris on the first base side. Ryan Broussard is up the middle. And Seth Buckminster to the third base side today. Umpires presented by Eye Care Avenue here in Frisco. The Cornhuskers taking the field in Frisco, Texas, to conclude their Frisco Classic experience. Won 8-3 on Friday night over Sam Houston, then dropped an 11-6 decision to LSU yesterday in front of the largest crowd in Frisco College Baseball Classic history. Over 11,000 in the house. Plenty of Big Red faithful among them.
Absolutely. It was an outstanding crowd. I was glad to be a part of it, being able to walk around and listen to all of the fans and what was going on with them. It was a night to remember for all of the people that were involved in it.
Well, Jason Brockett gets the start for Nebraska, the senior lefty from Omaha, making his third appearance on the season. Last Saturday at ULL, had a bit of a rough day. 1 inning of work, giving up 2 runs on 4 hits, and his ERA ballooned after a solid first outing against Grand Canyon. ERA was 150 after that game against the Lopes, now up to 386.
Yeah, he wants to come back and rebound and be able to throw a bunch of strikes to get his team back into the dugout. You know as well as I do, whenever you have a tough outing, you want to rebound and get back in here and have an opportunity to do so.
At that first appearance at Grand Canyon, he went 6 innings, gave up just 1 run on 6 hits. struck out 3 and didn't walk a single lope as Nebraska finished up its trip to Arizona.
A little breezy today.
Yeah. Now blowing pretty hard out to left field. When we get a moment, we'll show you the flags in left center right in front of the peak porch. The team and conference flags. You'll see how it's whipping out there today. First pitch to Maximus Martin from Jackson Brockett. First pitch moved up by an hour. That decision was made last night. Looking at the forecast, as rains are expected to arrive here in Frisco after 6 o'clock this evening. So hoping to play 2 without weather getting in the way. To left center. That'll hop to the wall. A lead-off double for Maximus Martin.
He got a fastball count and drove it 2-0 pitch at the leadoff spot and crushed that ball in the left center field, and he knew right off the bat that he was going to get a double out of that. What a start for K-State.
Shintaro up next. In a moment, we'll set the defense for Nebraska behind Jackson Brockett. You already saw Gabe Swanson and Riley Silva giving chase in the outfield. First pitch to Shintaro to the right side. Case Sanderson fields it himself, moves Martin over to third. Here's that Nebraska defense. Again, it's Swanson and Silva, left and center. Then Cale Frost plays right field for the Huskers. Around the infield, left to right, it's Rhett Stokes, Dylan Carey, Caden Brumbaugh, and Case Sanderson. Hogan Helixo behind the plate for Brockett. Huskers led by Will Bolt. Now D. Kennedy with Martin 90 feet away from scoring the game's first run. Oh, 1. Missing in. Two-one count coming to Kennedy. Fouled off to the third base side. Friday, Kennedy and Dardar back-to-back home runs in the 6th inning. Trying to vault K-State to a win over LSU. 2-2, missing high. Full count to Kennedy. Again fouled off. Over into the K-State dugout on the first base side.
Kennedy's trying to win this battle right here. Shintaro got his guy over after the double, and now's an opportunity to drive in the run for Kennedy right now.
3-2. Keeps battling.
Got to. Some money out there on that bag at third base. It's the ideal start for the Wildcats. You get a double in the gap to start it off. Shintaro does his job, moves him over, get him in.
3-2 pitch, fouled back.
They play him pretty much straight up in all areas on the field.
Again, the full count offering. Got him swinging. Battle between Brockett and Kennedy goes to the Husker pitcher.
Good job by Brockett to be able to mix those up.
Friday, K-State trying to knock off LSU, and the Wildcats with back-to-back home runs. Dardar, the second half of it. Here's Kennedy's as he launched it to the berm. And right behind him, Dardar gets it wet. First pitch to Dardar, missing away. One-0 coming. I've called games at Alec Box in Baton Rouge. About to call one at Dishfalk in Austin. Some other great venues around the country. This may be my favorite place thanks to the splashdown homers. Love it.
Well, it's a beautiful ballpark, and yes, that lazy river out there, and the fact that the ball gets a chance to travel out there. It has been it's been busy this weekend. They even opened up the pool area yesterday because there were so many people that were here for the ball game.
Lifeguard was not on duty.
Nope.
People couldn't get in the water. They could sit around the water.
Absolutely.
It's heated, I think. No reason we couldn't have let people swim yesterday. 3-1 into left field. That'll score the first run of the game for Kansas State. Seth Dardar delivering an RBI, and Martin scores. It's 1-0, Wildcats.
It's a great piece of hitting right there. I know I've been talking about it all weekend, but you get yourself an opportunity to hit the ball the other way, and that's what I've been most impressed with all of these teams. Being able to spray the ball around the around the ballpark gives yourself a better chance to get some knocks, and that's exactly what happened right there.
Double for Dardar. 1-0 Wildcats.
Wildcats are picking up where they left off yesterday. That 14-run outburst.
Well, for the sake of Brockett, we hope this is not a similar type of outing, although that came in relief last weekend. Lasted just the one inning, as Nebraska needed 7 pitchers to get through that game against the Ragin' Cajuns and lost 10-2. On the other side, Andrew Herman went the full 9. How rare for a complete game on week 2 of the college baseball season. That gets away, and K-State will have a runner on third. But, gosh, Hargy, 117 pitches for Herman, going the full length for the Ragin' Cajuns to beat the Cornhuskers.
They must have known something about him for him to be in that game. He probably told his coach, do not take me out. This is my ball game.
Not that many coaches are listening to you that early in the year. Say, yeah. We got a long season ahead. I'd like to know how many complete games we have on the season to date. You can't count them on more than one hand, I'm sure.
I would think that. I think you would be right, especially this, like you said, early in the season. 2 starts, 3 starts.
Got him looking. Jackson Brockett with a pair of strikeouts in the top of the first, but K-State gets a run across. Doubles from Martin and Dardar. Wildcats lead 1-0. We'll set the Nebraska order in a moment.
You are in a life-threatening situation. This is a dangerous storm.
That's hit deep, and that ball is gone. The night belongs to 33. To the wall. That ball is gone, and it's about to be party time in Lincoln.
Huskers and Wildcats, Game 5 of the Frisco College Baseball Classic. Nebraska will send Devin Nunez to the plate in the bottom half of the second innings, at the top of the lineup, hitting a team-leading .538 as a freshman, and he is in the DH spot today. Case Sanderson at first base, batting second. Then it's Caden Brumbaugh, second baseman, has number 0 on his back. Love that. Cale Frost with a pair of home runs this weekend. His first 2 hits of the season going deep. He's in right batting cleanup. Dylan Carey is the shortstop, followed by Gabe Swanson in left. Rhett Stokes, the third baseman, and Riley Silva, the center fielder. Hogan Heligso, the backstop, batting 9th. Kansas State sends out Lincoln Sheffield, making his 3rd start of the season. 14 strikeouts to just 1 walk in those 2 appearances.
That is awesome to get on the mound and be able to throw that many strikes and get that many outs and not walk people. I know that those pitching coaches and everyone else around the country are thinking that.
First pitch swinging by Nunez, a solid base knock into left field.
Nunez has had himself a good weekend here in Frisco. I ran into him yesterday at the store, and I was very impressed with this young man and his approach to the game.
So you can give us the formula. What does he need for success on the weekend? What's he buying?
I caught him on the way out.
Didn't search the bag.
Didn't search the bag from him.
What you got? Tools in there. What's the fuel for Nunez?
He was at the store picking up hits.
This is Cade Sanderson. Lincoln Sheffield on the bump for K-State today. Transfer from Hines Community College, where he was an all-conference honorable mention selection a year ago. His most recent outing came against TCU last Sunday in Arlington, as K-State ran through 3 ranked opponents, beat them all at Globe Life Field. Arkansas, Michigan, TCU, 7 innings pitched against the Horned Frogs, 1 run on 5 hits, struck out 8 and walked 1. And K-State announced its presence. Doing the same today, Sheffield with a strikeout of Sanderson.
Another great pitch and a great location to get him looking.
Here's the defense backing Sheffield up in the outfield. It's Keegan O'Connor in left, Kyan Lotus in center, Nick English in right. D. Kennedy is the third baseman, Maximus Martin at short. Shintaro Inoue is the second baseman, and A.J. Avasco at first. First pitch to Brumbaugh. As you saw, Bear Madliak bring that one in. He's been the starting catcher all weekend long for K-State. Agent Zero, Caden Brumbaugh. Into right field. English watches it bounce in front of him. Thought he had it with the body language there, Harji, and then the last moment pulls up.
Yeah, he was shaded over a little bit towards right center. And the way that ball held up, you're right. You thought that he would be able to get to that, but he was so far over, the wind just kept pushing it back away from him. We talked about the wind and how it's playing today.
Here's Cale Frost. Frost missing inside. As the music continues to blare here in Frisco. Somebody couldn't find that mute button upstairs.
Well, it's always funny to me, like, we're playing baseball. So it's cool to go out there and play with the music. It's not like you have to be so quiet. The fans are all over you.
That's true. You know, we're playing music in game for basketball. Why can't we do the same here?
Yeah, it didn't. In the way that the catcher looked up here at the box, I was like, was that really going to make you miss the pitch?
1-1 coming to Cale Frost. And Harji, I think it's a good philosophy for all of us who do this kind of stuff to not look at the comments section. But sometimes it's unavoidable because I'll share, the team tweets when they put highlights out.
Yep.
And I'll maybe see the first 2 comments below it on Twitter. But when I call these home runs for Frost on Friday, I put my emphasis on that word, on Frost. Had to get chilly here in Frisco on Friday. And then on the second home run, it got chilly and wet here at Riders Field. I got some groans. Nebraska fans are tired of the Frost puns. 2-2 to the right side. Shintaro on to second and to first. K-State can't turn 2. Runners on the corners for Nebraska.
That was a nice play by Shintaro, being able to make that pivot over there in the hole. Nice turn of his hips, get the ball free. Came closer at first. Nice play.
Dylan Carey will step in. So on one of those, I just couldn't help myself, had to reply. I think the comment was the worst home run call I've ever heard. I'm like, come on. It had wordplay. It had recognition of the environment, special nature of the lazy river and right. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's straight out of play-by-play 101.
You were ready for it, too. You knew the roster. You knew everything about it. You was excited.
Yeah.
And you had that moment right there. But nobody got frostbite.
That excitement level went up to the level it should for a home run in this big tournament.
Right.
In my self-critique, I had no problem. So I'm replying, and I think I used a GIF of Neil deGrasse Tyson saying, I was just trying to be clever. And usually when you engage, as this one's fouled off over towards the playground and left, when you engage, people back down. And the reply I got from that hater was, I'm just hating on you, doing a great job, keep it up. So sometimes when you talk to the people, they back down.
You got to engage every once in a while, just to keep yourself sharp.
1-2 pitch. Runner going down to second. Fake throw by Madliak. Trying to see if Nunez would bite. He did not. So runners on second and third as Frost takes a bag. One 1-0 Kansas State, first inning in Frisco. Missing high.
He's running up there about 90 miles an hour. But his off-speed pitch is the one that I've been impressed with. He struck Sanderson out with that. Got him looking.
3-2 pitch. Lifted to center. Shallow going back. That's Martin making the grab. I thought Lotus would call him off as far as that traveled, Harji.
I'm sure that's going to be a discussion in the dugout as well, as Coach Hughes is going to address that for sure.
Nebraska leaves a pair stranded, and the Huskers trail by 1 after a single inning.
Hit well out to left, and it is
Folks, the Cats are going to the Super Regionals.
D1Baseball.com, your exclusive home of the Frisco College Baseball Classic. No one covers college baseball like D1 Baseball. Covering every game from coast to coast, this is the resource that no college baseball fan can be without. If you're watching right now, that means you're a subscriber. And we would urge you to maintain that subscription throughout the season and beyond. Check out the great coverage from D1Baseball.com writers. Editor-in-Chief Aaron Fitt is here in Frisco providing coverage. Kendall Rogers is down at the Astros Foundation Classic. Writers from coast to coast providing information, not just those two big-time tournaments we have in Texas this week. Check out the D1 Digest recapping the Saturday action with Jared Morris as well. Bradley Smart covering the South Carolina Clemson series this weekend. 3-1 to English. Missing 5-pitch walk issued to the leadoff hitter in the second.
Got a little attitude. Thought he should have walked on the pitch before that, I guess.
We'll check in with TrackMan technology and the robo-ump throughout the game. Neglected to check that previous pitch. Here's A.J. Avasco. That one right down the pipe. So I mentioned that Brockett was one of 7 pitchers that Nebraska used last Saturday at Louisiana Lafayette, while the Cajuns threw a complete game with Andrew Herman. And I speculated that it's 5 or less this early in the season that somebody could throw a complete game. I was wrong. It's a pretty hefty number through less than 3 weeks. 15 complete games thrown in collegiate baseball already. I don't know. You're not going to find that many in MLB through 3 weeks. I can guarantee you that.
Oh, you can barely find that through the season.
With a much smaller sample size.
They're already trying to figure out who's going to pitch the 6th, 7th, and 8th.
1-2. Got him looking. Jackson Brockett brought that one at 90. Eddie Newsom calling balls and strikes. He says it caught the outside corner. The robo-ump disagrees.
And so did Velasco. He was not excited about it either.
Third strikeout for Brockett. Keegan O'Connor fouling this one off. Keegan went yard on Saturday. Missing away.
Yeah, he got a base hit up the middle prior to that, and I told you, I said that is probably something that he needed to get himself going. And the next at bat, he hit one into left field that just kept carrying.
Like you said, he needed it. His batting average was below 200 entering the day. Now right at that Mendoza line. 4 hits and 20 tries this year. One, two, fouled it back and fell to his knee. Here's what he did on Saturday in Kansas State's lopsided win over Sam Houston. right to the left of the peak porch.
Serious pop right there.
Swings and misses at that one. The runner will advance, but O'Connor heads to the bench. Consecutive strikeouts by Brockett, but the wild pitch allows English to advance. Anytime you go down swinging on a wild pitch, you're kicking yourself quite a bit on your way back to the dugout.
Yeah, you should be. I think that he was feeling good about his at-bat and fouling off a couple pitches that he thought he saw it well.
Kyan Lotus, bottom of the K-State order. Saw him lead off yesterday against Sam Houston. He likes being in that spot, wants to set the tone for this offense, especially after what K-State went through on Friday. Harji, one of the hardest losses that Kyan's ever been a part of, said that he felt the energy, wanted to help the team bounce back, really thrived in being in that top spot to set the tone.
No doubt, and that's exactly what he's been able to do this weekend. That's why I was a little interested in the purpose of him moving to the bottom of the lineup. Maybe it was the left-handed pitcher that's starting, getting him some production at the bottom of the lineup because he's done so well.
.333 batting average on the season for Lotus. Had back-to-back home runs yesterday with him and Shintaro. And he takes a base here. 2 men on, 2 out for K-State. Returning to the top of the lineup for Maximus Martin, who doubled to lead off the game.
Yeah, you got to pitch up early in the count, 2-0. Got a good fastball and drove it right into the gap.
Martin, a versatile player last year at Georgia State. Started 12 games in center field before moving to shortstop and started there for the rest of the year. Into center field. English waved home. The throw is cut off. And Kansas State increases its lead to 2-0 thanks to a Maximus Martin RBI single.
Another good count for him, 1-0 count. He's been at 2-0, hit a double. He's been at 1-0 and hit a single and an RBI. Looks like Coach Hughes knew how to gamble on this lineup here by flipping it around a little bit.
Leads to a mound visit for Nebraska. Prior to Shintaro getting his opportunity at the plate for K-State.
You know, leadoff walks. Leadoff walks get you every time.
Yesterday, Shintaro in the 9th inning, putting one in the pool.
And that was, I knew right away.
We all knew right away. Lifted above that waterfall and into the largest water feature, that pool, in the biggest one in minor league baseball. I need to check in. I think it may be the biggest in all of professional baseball, not just the minors. I can't think of one now that Kansas City has cut down on its water feature in the outfield and replaced a lot of that with additional seating.
Yep.
I think the Riders may hold that distinction.
I would believe that for sure.
Great date night spot. Thursday nights, middle of the summer in Frisco is 110. It's 21 and up out there one night a week. The other nights, You got kids splashing, having fun. And that's fun, too. I'll bring my son out here to do that. But the 21 and up night, baseball game in the background, in the pool, plenty of drinks available. It's a good time. 2-0 pitch hit into center by Shintaro. Silva backtracks to bring in the third out of the second inning. Maximus Martin providing an RBI single. K-State goes up 2-0 on Nebraska, middle of the second.
We have a beautiful hospital, a hospital that was designed not to look like a healthcare facility. It has a warm and welcoming environment for our guests and our patients that come in, but it's really what's inside that building that makes the biggest difference. We have a dedicated group of professionals here that have been going above and beyond for this community for the past 2 years since we've been open, and really have a passion for providing outstanding care in a warm and welcoming environment.
Nebraska will bring up Gabe Swanson, Rhett Stokes, Riley Silva, the giant chopstick game in between innings.
So we figured it out. You got to get carrots.
Yeah.
You got to get, what is that, a banana? I don't know. That's all going into the chopsticks.
I don't know. But they each had to gather 3 pieces of food and put it in to the container with the not life-size. Gosh, those chopsticks are
those are oars.
Oh, yeah. Bigger than the contestants. One of the few contests they have adults do here. Most of the others are for kids, but kids couldn't handle that stuff. That's 3 times as big as some of the kids that come out there. Gabe Swanson, Rhett Stokes, Riley Silva here for Nebraska as the Huskers trail 2-0. Shift is on against Swanson. Second baseman Shintaro has gone to the left of the bag from our perspective. Deke Kennedy is hugging the line. 0-2, and see why. They gave foul ball duty to Max Budenbeck, and he is having to run all the way out to the track, Harji. And he'll retreat to the bullpen instead of heading back to the dugout.
I guess nobody in the bullpen wanted to help out right there. I mean, they're full down there.
Oh, 2 to Swanson. Big swing and a miss. Strikeout number 2 by Lincoln Sheffield.
Both of these pitchers have good demeanors on the mound. They just get the ball, get back up there, and ready to go. And they're not afraid to come right after these hitters. So it's been impressive for both sides to be able to throw the strikes that they've been able to throw, but the fact that they've been attacking these hitters.
First pitch, a one-hopper to O'Connor. Rhett Stokes aboard with a one-out single. Silva, the senior, hitting .278. Silva gets hit more than almost anyone in college baseball. Plunked 26 times last year. Second most in program history. Stolen base for Rhett Stokes.
It was a great jump right there. It's almost like it was a first move type of steal, because he was off and running right away. He ran on a great pitch, too, breaking ball down, but it looked like it was going to be a good pick over at second base by Martin, but just got past him.
His second stolen base of the year. 1-0 in the zone. Robo-ump says that should have been a ball. Just outside the zone.
Man, good breaking stuff. The downward motion. Wow.
Spin rate at just over 2,400. Bringing it down to 79 miles per hour. Here's the 1-2. Shintaro charges to make the play. Stokes moves to third.
I've been impressed with the way Shintaro's been able to make some plays, and he made a good transition at a ball in the hole just a little while ago, and then being able to show that he can come in on a ground ball. Nice play by the second baseman.
RG, we talked about this in pregame. I fill out my all-tournament team ballot before the Sunday games begin, and then alter it as I see fit as the 5th and 6th games of the tournament take place. They're due by the 7th inning of our final game tonight.
Correct.
I cannot find a catcher who is worthy of being put on that all-tournament team. I need Hogan or someone else to step up today, earn that spot.
Putting a lot of pressure on these guys, you know. You're wanting them to step up. Let's go, guys. Step up.
Checking over to first. Helixo went around. The championship team, which we already know, LSU has clinched that title. They will take away the WWE style belt. The MVP gets a miniature belt. It'll look good on a mantle. Gets away from Madliak. Stokes scores on the wild pitch, and Nebraska cuts the deficit in half.
Stokes gets on with the base hit, gets the stolen base on the wild pitch, then comes home to score.
Worked his way around, manufacturing a run for the Cornhuskers. Two out. So champions get the big belt, MVP gets the mini belt, and then the rest of the all-tournament team players get commemorative bats with the tournament logo engraved on it. Full count, got him looking. Breaking ball on the outside corner for the third K of the frame. Rhett Stokes comes in to score on a wild pitch by Sheffield, and Nebraska trims the deficit to 2-1 against Kansas State. 2 innings complete in Frisco. Frisco Classic, proud to support the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. You can scan that QR code on your screen, make a donation to help us add tomorrows to those living with the disease. Also go to friscoclassic.com. You'll find that logo, proud supporter of the CF Foundation, in the upper right-hand corner. And you can click to donate there, add to the total that Peak Events will give with big, oversized vanity check this summer. They have awarded over $650,000 to the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation thanks to these tournaments over the past decade. That's why they do it, bringing great college baseball to DFW and to support the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. TJ Coates, the new pitcher for the Cornhuskers, making his second appearance of the year, went 1 inning against ULL last Saturday. Hitless, scoreless baseball, untouched so far. D. Kennedy will lead off for K-State. Kennedy, Dardar, and Madliak. Kennedy inches away from scoring the game-winning run against LSU on Friday. He was on first, ran through a stop sign, Harji. But as Pete Hughes told him after the game, don't let it bother you. If you're going to make a mistake, I want you to do it going 100 miles per hour. It's exactly what he did.
Yeah, I was watching the play as it was developing, and it's a unique situation when the ball checked up in the outfield. If it gets to the wall, they're in. If it gets to the wall, he scores easily, but running through that stop sign did not play well for that particular play.
Now, Josh Pearson made the play of the day for LSU, not allowing that ball to get to the wall, then made a perfect strike of a throw to the cutoff man. That relay was exactly where it needed to be for LSU, as Stephen Milam turned around and delivered it to Luis Hernandez. Kennedy goes down swinging. First strikeout victim for new Nebraska pitcher TJ Coates.
Yeah, everything had to be done perfectly, and that's exactly what happened on that relay. We've seen some outstanding plays all weekend, though.
Yeah. No, we need a sizzle reel for the defense. I think the one that went viral was what LSU did in the middle infield yesterday against these Cornhuskers. Kind of thing where Tiger fans obviously will talk about it for years to come. Nebraska fans probably will too, not with as much reverence. But at the end of the day, even if you're rooting against the Tigers, you have to just tip your hat and say, wow.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's one of those, you tip your cap to them and you just realize that some guys understand each other, especially in the middle infield. It is one of those things that, as you said, will be talked about for years.
Grounder to the right side. Rumbaugh flipping it over to retire Dardar. Daniel Dickinson playing second base for LSU. Flipped it to the bare hand of Stephen Milam, who did a pirouette before throwing it to an outstretched Jared Jones to retire Dylan Carey. Bear Madliak struck out looking against Jackson Brockett to end the first. Now facing a 3-0 count. That'll end the inning. K-State 2, Nebraska 1 at the Frisco College Baseball Classic. These rivals have met 291 times before today. Winner ends up with a 2-1 record on the weekend.
Ran up by the Luxembourg, up the highest metric. The city just made it sweet, you could diabetic. They mouths were full of deceit, let these cowards tell it. Walk in New Orleans with the etiquette, the LA yelling. Oh, man. Second bad, but somebody gotta do it. Got my foot up on the gas, but somebody gotta do it.
Harji claims he would win this contest against these kids.
I would. But I don't mean I want to. You know, I got to let these kids win every once in a while. They work hard. They earn those moments. It's the effort for me. It's all about the effort.
Yeah, some of them can't do very many push-ups.
Yep.
You know, if my son was out there, I don't know that he could do one push-up yet.
Right.
His little skinny 9-year-old arms can't quite make it happen. He'll be out at the ballpark today on this final day of the Frisco College Baseball Classic. We had a record-setting crowd on Saturday night. 11,003 fans in the house for Nebraska and LSU. We won't get anywhere close to that today. Sunday's a little different, as you might imagine, at these tournaments with fans coming in from all over the country to see their favorite teams. A lot of them have to get back. Got to go to work on Monday morning.
Yep.
And stick around for a Sunday game. There's still plenty of fans who live locally who can be here. Or maybe they have some days off in the bank, want to spend them on Monday. Or just don't mind being really tired when they arrive in the office on Monday.
I think the latter is more likely.
1-2 pitch. Big hack from Nunez. He goes down swinging. For Sheffield, that is strikeout number 4 through 2 1/3.
Nice work. We've seen Sheffield. You talked about his numbers coming in and how efficient he is on the mound.
Sanderson was his first strikeout victim. Got him looking in the first inning. Yesterday, a tale of 2 games for Nebraska. Sanderson flies out to O'Connor in left. First 4 or 5 innings, Coach Bolt told us that his team was on attack. They had LSU on their heels. Tigers responded, and his team just couldn't match it.
Well, that's the one thing about a team like LSU. If you're not used to seeing it, you don't understand it. And then all of a sudden, they just find a way to keep chipping away, getting out of some big innings and creating some big innings. Just like with K-State on Friday night, they saw it. They had an opportunity to seize the moment, and they didn't. Then you got to bounce back and try to get a dub after that big matchup.
0-1 away to Brumbaugh. And, of course, Coach Bolt and his Huskers are not in this tournament just to hang close with a team like LSU. He feels like they have a good team and they are right there. This is a championship caliber Husker squad this year, coming off a Big Ten championship last year. Huskers trail the Wildcats Game 5 of the Frisco Classic through 3 at Riders Field.
Ran up out of luck soon as I up the highest metric. The city just made it sweet, you could die better. They mouths were full of deceit. Let these cowards tell it. Walk in New Orleans with the etiquette of LA yelling. Second bad, but somebody gotta do it. Got my foot up on the gas, but somebody gotta do it.
Frisco College Baseball Classic is presented by Peak Events, home of the best outside of Omaha. You can follow Peak Events on social media. Here's the key. You've got to spell out the word dot. Peak, D-O-T, events is the handle on all the social media platforms. Also use that hashtag that's on your screen right now. Best outside of Omaha when you're talking about the tournaments. We're here in Frisco this week checking out the minor league fun. Now that I would like to do with you, Harji. We would have so much force going against each other. We would fly back.
Yeah, those and the sumos. The sumos are always fun too. But that right there, oh yeah, somebody will get smoked for sure.
Scooped up by Carey. No, he can't bring it in. And it's an E6. English is aboard. We had our golden opportunity a couple of years ago when you were the sideline reporter. Why didn't we get you in these games?
Because two things. Number one, that was not going to happen. and number two, yeah, I would have had to go to work on Monday, and I don't know if my body would have let me go out there and get flipped around for a gimmick.
H.A. Vasco swings and misses. So the first year of the tournament, that was my role. I was the sideline reporter, and I don't think at that point the Riders really were doing all of these minor league style promotions in between innings. They have really stepped it up to bring that experience of what you would see during the regular season for AA games to these college events. But the main thing I remember from that first year, it was cold and it was rainy. I wanted to be in the booth. That's deep and gone into the home run terrace. A.J. Vasco going oppo in Frisco. Home run number 1 on the season.
As I told you before, Chris, when guys can hit the ball the opposite direction with big pop, that is impressive, and that's exactly what he was able to do. That ball was middle away, and he stayed with it and got it up in that jet stream. Boom, 2-run jack.
4-1, Kansas State in the top of the 4th. 331 feet. According to the TrackMan data. I don't know if I believe that.
I do not.
No.
I do not. I think it's a little bit further than that.
I agree. So you have a better view. What does it say along against the foul pole? This one is well hit. Keegan O'Connor. And for the third time this weekend, Kansas State has back-to-back jacks.
That ball hit the apartments. That shot back off of the apartments in left center field.
The Amley Frisco Crossing Apartments across the street from Riders Field. Somebody got a knock on their wall.
Look at my man. He was going to get the ball. It was way back there. Oh, my goodness.
We told you that wind was blowing left. That's going to carry a baseball. 480 the distance. Now, I believe that one. I didn't believe the Avasco calculation. And I was asking you right before that what that sign says on the left field foul pole.
It's blocked for me. Yeah, it's blocked
for me. It's 335 to the pole in right. Maybe a little bit shorter to the wall in left as it's taller, going towards the home run terrace. That second one, that's right up there with the longest shots we've had in tournament history. Last year we had some mammoth blasts from Dallas Baptist. That might have broken a window at the Frisco Crossing last year, as Lotus is retired. First out of the inning for K-State.
I wish that they would have saw the reaction in the booth as soon as that ball was hit, because I knew it was hit well, but I didn't think it was going to hit the apartment building across the street from the ballpark.
I was looking at you. You're right. I wish I would have had a camera trained on you, because as that pitch was thrown, we were discussing the distance on the Avasco home run, and your eyes lit up. My head swiveled quickly to my left to watch that one travel out of the ballpark.
If you're going to give them up like that, because that was O'Connor for the second time this weekend. It was a guy that's trying to get his average up, working towards it, got a base hit up the middle, hit the home run in the next at bat, and then comes back with that one. Wow.
You hear it all the time. Offense is contagious.
And guys like to have a lot of fun on the offensive side. My goodness.
Inside to Martin, little lean back to avoid it, and he'll head down to first base.
Talking about having a day, Martin, 2 for 2 with a walk, been on all 3 times, and that's what you want to see from your leadoff guy.
Mentioned that K-State has gone with back-to-back homers on 3 consecutive days now. Shintaro was the back half yesterday. Lotus went yard, then Shintaro put one into the pool against Sam Houston. On Friday, it was Kennedy and Dardar going back-to-back against LSU. Today, it's Avasco and O'Connor.
Yeah, think about that. In a weekend, I don't think I've ever seen that happen like 3 times, period, let alone with one team.
Yeah.
And from all different areas, too.
Two 2-1. Missing in to Shintaro. Kansas State after the heartbreaker Friday. Coach Hughes saying that 24-hour rule was in place. And Shintaro's aboard with a free pass. He thought the team arrived at the stadium ready to win on Saturday. Couldn't let that Friday night loss lead to a series loss, because a team going into a weekend, they're thinking, we want to win this series. 3 games. A sweep is great, but 2-1 is really the goal when you enter the weekend. And drop it on Friday, got to win the next 2.
Got to win the next 2, and they are leaning towards having that happen. But the way that they were able to come out and play yesterday, you got great pitching performance. Then you go out and you manufacture some runs, and you could have had your head down, but they kept rolling. And that's exactly why when you come out today, try to do the same thing, and they're up in front right now, 4-1.
Rob Childress out visiting with his pitcher, Will Bolt, the 6th-year head coach of this team. Coach Childress, his 2nd season on this staff, along with Mike Sirianni and Lance Harvell. Coming off a Big Ten tournament championship, the first in program history, vaulting the Huskers into the NCAA regional round. Two consecutive walks issued by Coates. And Kennedy, with that in his hand, he has struck out twice. Kennedy was the first man that Coates faced. Got him down swinging. Just past noon in Frisco, Texas. This was the original start time for this game, but shifted back, or up rather, I suppose, by an hour to 11 a.m. 3 consecutive walks. Kennedy on 4 pitches. A couple of 5-pitch walks, then a 4-pitch walk. Coates is having trouble.
Yeah, he still might be a little shook up from the back-to-back home runs. Yes, he did come back and get a strikeout, but then he couldn't find it again. And now they're getting some help up in the bullpen.
And that'll do it for Coates. You knew the leash would be short. I'm honestly a little surprised that he lasted this long, down by 4. And they keep him out there to throw 3 consecutive walks for Nebraska and finally make a change.
Yeah, he's going to go back and try to figure out where he lost it at and find the mechanics, and he'll be back. He'll get himself back on that bump again.
We'll introduce you to the new Nebraska pitcher. This is Game 5 of the Frisco College Baseball Classic. Kansas State has the bases full with 1 out, leading by 4.
Ran up out of luck soon as I up the highest metric. The city just made it sweet, you could diabetic. They mouths were full of deceit, let these cowards tell it. Walk in New Orleans with the etiquette of LA yelling. Second bad, but somebody gotta do it. Got my foot up on the gas, but somebody gotta do it.
Nebraska forced to make a change after 3 walks were issued. Drew Christo comes on now for the Cornhuskers, the senior out of Elkhorn, Nebraska, two-time academic All-Big Ten selection. This will be his 4th appearance on the season. He's 0-1 with a 17.18 ERA. He's been roughed up a bit by UC Irvine, Grand Canyon, and ULL. Comes in with the bases loaded. Martin and Shintaro were walked on 5 pitches. Kennedy on 4 pitches. And the cleanup hitter stepping in, Seth Dardar, who already has an RBI double today. First pitch to Dardar. Missing away. Down the pipe. Fans didn't like it, but it did catch the lower half of the zone. One, one out, bases full. Missing in.
It doesn't look like that's missing by much either.
Checking out Robo ump, that's by a hair. Just a little bit of white space between the ball and the zone. 2-1. If you're watching spring training games in MLB, you'll see that technology. Here's Dardar from Friday, unleashing one beyond the wall, and he knew it immediately.
Almost tripped out of the box. He knew it immediately.
And that's a splashdown, not in the front of the Lazy River. That's on the back end. Here he goes down swinging with the bases full. Big pitch by Drew Christo.
Huge pitch by Christo, being able to come in and dice him up and had another pitch down and in and tied him up for a big strikeout. But he cannot let up right now.
Bear Madliak gets a chance. K-State has now batted all the way around. This is the 9th hitter to come up this inning. In the dirt. Martin thought about it for a brief moment and saw that it was not going to get far enough away from Helixo.
Helixo with a great block to save a run right there. You got to give respect to these catchers, especially when they can hold runners from being able to advance.
Two-0 pitch. Missing away. In danger of a 4-pitch walk to Madliak with the bases full. (3-0). Got that one for a strike. Robo ump disagrees.
Well, he should know better. It's 3-0. They normally give you one.
Here's the 3-1 offering. Again, Madliak was starting down to first. And I hate to put umpires on blast, but according to Robo Ump, that's 2 consecutive balls. And Madliak should be at first. K-State should have another run. Swings and misses. And the Wildcats leave him loaded. Madliak is livid, and I don't blame him. Kansas State gets a pair as they bat around. A.J. Avasco, Keegan O'Connor. O'Connor's homer hitting the Frisco Crossing apartment complex across the street. 480 here in Frisco. K-State leads 5-1. Frisco College Baseball Classic, proud to support the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. Scan that QR code on your screen. Make a donation to help us add tomorrows to those living with the disease. Also go to FriscoClassic.com. You'll see a place to donate. Upper right-hand corner, that Cystic Fibrosis Foundation logo. Also, the auction continues. Click on CFF Auction on the top half of FriscoClassic.com. We'll get the latest numbers as fans bid on trips to Barbados and Antigua, as well as autographed baseballs from all 4 teams in the Classic. Did you get clarification, Harji, on how much you're allowed to bid and which destination that is preferred there?
Yeah, all 3. I was told.
All right.
Just go ahead and bid on all 3.
A hack from Frost, who has hit a couple of dingers this weekend. Shift is on against him with 2 strikes. K-State batted all the way around. Got him looking. That one catching the lower portion of the zone. Eddie Newsom ringing him up.
I get a lot of looking strikes, and that kind of tells you a little bit too. Guys aren't being fooled that much.
First pitch swinging by Carey. Into left field. A 1-out single. So 3 trips up for bids on FriscoClassic.com. It all benefits the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. St. James Club in Antigua, also the Pineapple Beach Club in Antigua, and a getaway to Barbados. All 3 right now, the bidding is at $250. Swanson goes to center with it. Lotus comes on to make the grab. So you're getting some real bargains there on those trips. And if you have the right accountant who can make those things work, it's all charitable. So I need a good CFO in my life.
Well, I've talked to mine, and I am good to go.
As for the autographed baseballs, as you would expect, LSU has the high bid right now at $200. The other 3 teams' balls are sitting at $50 at this moment. So Nebraska fans, Kansas State fans, hop on FriscoClassic.com on the CFF auction and get that bit of memorabilia for yourself or your favorite fan in your life.
There is a lead bidder.
Yep.
In all for the trips. I'm not it, though.
Okay. I thought I was about to say you were going to announce that you just took a lead in one of those categories.
I'm thinking about taking the lead.
All right. You have to raise it by at least 50.
Yep.
My wife's going to be here in about an hour and a half with the kiddos. We'll evaluate. That wind's get a hold of this one. Almost gave Vasco nightmares, but he does get to it. Nebraska sends 4 men to the plate in the first. Carey has a lead as a 1-out single go to waste. And the Huskers still trail in this one. Wildcats 5, Cornhuskers 1, 4 innings complete at the Frisco Classic.
We have a beautiful hospital, a hospital that was designed not to look like a healthcare facility. It has a warm and welcoming environment for our guests and our patients that come in, but it's really what's inside that building that makes the biggest difference. We have a dedicated group of professionals here that have been going above and beyond for this community for the past 2 years since we've been open, and really have a passion for providing outstanding care in a warm and welcoming environment.
Texas Health Hospital Frisco, proud to provide the very best in healthcare with quality of service that goes above and beyond your expectations. We've taken care of this community in its greatest time of need and will continue to do so in the years to come. Peak porch out beyond left field. You can see flags flying at winds of 10 to 15 miles per hour this afternoon. Yesterday, absolutely perfect evening, barely any wind. That kind of stuff, Harji, it can make a game a lot more fun when hitters lift balls to that direction. We saw it with a 480-foot blast to O'Connor. Now, he barreled that up really well, got a hold of one, but the wind carried it an extra few feet. 480.
480-foot bomb. It just doesn't even sound right to be able to say that. And to watch that ball carry as far as it did because of the height on which it was carrying, as soon as he hit it, as you and I were talking, I was like, that ball might hit that building, and it did.
Well, the only home runs in recent memory at this tournament that went that kind of distance, it was last year. Grant Jay for Dallas Baptist hit 2 homers that went about a combined 1,000 feet.
Wow. That's some serious pop.
DBU won the Frisco Classic Championship last year, in large part thanks to Mr. Clutch. Patriots beat Alabama on Sunday to clinch that title. It came down to that final game last year to see if the Patriots or the Crimson Tide would walk away with the championship belt. A little less drama here today as LSU has already clinched the Frisco Classic Championship. But they would feel a lot better about a 3-0 weekend than they would a 2-1 weekend. Game still matters a great deal later today for the Tigers and the Bearcats.
We've seen some good teams over the past 2 weekends. You and I got a chance to call Oregon State and Virginia at that time, 2 versus 7. Now we're back here this weekend. You get a chance to see them with the way that they play. It's really impressive to watch those guys play.
A.J. Avasco, last time he stepped up, went opposite field onto the home run terrace. Facing a 1-1 count against Cristo. Now I'm racking my brain because there were a couple of other homers that rival what we saw earlier from O'Connor and what we saw last year from Grant Jay. But here's what Avasco did last time he came up in the 4th.
He said 331, and we went down and looked. Down the line is 335. So it might be a little bit more. Ooh.
This one to right center. Didn't carry. The wind maybe knocking that one down a little bit as opposed to when you go straight to left field and can carry a ball out.
Yeah, because that one sounded a lot better than his home run ball.
Keegan O'Connor, 480-foot blast his last time up. O'Connor with the mammoth blast to left field.
And knew it right away.
We all did.
But my goodness, watch the man go over there and try to find it.
Yeah. You know, we're always reading body language from the fielders, trying to see where the ball is going. In that case, you're watching the body language of a passerby who's taking his afternoon walk. Just somebody beyond the fence who happens to be strolling past. And, hey, there's a ball flying out here. I think we'll get a souvenir. (2-1). I think that might have got his attention, by the way, and that one gets away from Helig, so allows English to advance on the wild pitch. But it's a guy in the hoodie and the white cap who went to grab that ball, and now he's standing beyond the gate still watching. Come on in, buy a ticket. But the home run got his attention at least. And he's watching from behind the fence. Off the fists, Sanderson scoops it up and tags the bag for the second out.
Got on his hands a little bit, tried to stay inside of it. There was some space over there for him to hit the ball to right field, but he ends up grounded out to first base. Three unassisted.
Bottom of the order for Lotus.
Lotus was the leadoff guy most of the weekend, well, in the first two games of the weekend. Comes out today at the bottom of the lineup.
Walked his first time up in the second inning. Struck out swinging in the fourth. Brumbaugh watches that one go past him. And English scores from third. Kansas State rolling here in Frisco. 6-1 over Nebraska.
That was an 0-2 pitch. Gave him two fastballs and then came right back and got the big knock for an RBI. You can't make that kind of mistake 0-2 and give him an opportunity to drive in a run.
Top of the K-State order, Maximus Martin. Runner is off. Lotus in there safely.
Brumbaugh looked into the dugout real quick to see if he might have gotten him. Good pitch, good throw. Ooh, bang, bang on the bag.
Yeah.
Lotus might have jammed his thumb or something sliding into the base.
We'll get a visit from Blaine Burris, the K-State athletic trainer. That's a better look, and Nebraska is not indicating they want to challenge. But I wouldn't blame them for wanting to have the umps get a second glance. Burris has his look at Lotus, and as you would expect with Kyan, he's not begging out of this game.
Fix me so I can stay.
Martin lifts it just past the infield dirt. Brought in by Sanderson. K-State adds a run here in the fifth as Cayenne Lotus delivers a run batted in. Plating English. 6-1 Wildcats over the Huskers mid-fifth.
Ran up out of Lux Unessa up the highest metric. The city just made it sweet, you could diabetic. They mouths were full of deceit. Let these cowards tell it. Walk in New Orleans with the etiquette of LA yelling. Second bad, but somebody gotta do it. Got my foot up on the gas, but somebody gotta do it.
D1Baseball.com presents the Frisco College Baseball Classic. No one covers college baseball like D1 Baseball. Covering every game from coast to coast, D1 Baseball is the resource that no college baseball fan can be without. We are thankful for all of the Husker and Wildcat fans joining us on our exclusive stream this weekend of the Frisco College Baseball Classic. I'm Chris Mikoski. Mike Harge is alongside. Got Scott running things behind the scenes. Iggy, our man, running around fixing everything. EIC, engineer in charge, engineer in chief. We had Aaron Fitt in here yesterday, the editor-in-chief of D1 Baseball, but we got another EIC in the house with Iggy. Riley Silva trying to bunt for a hit. Hit him in the box.
Like the idea, though. Putting a little pressure, trying to get on. Manufacture some action for this Cornhusker team.
Trailing by 5 in the top of the fifth, bottom of the fifth rather, as Nebraska the designated home team today. The red tops, the white pants, black caps and helmets. Lifted to left. O'Connor drifts to his right to make the catch.
The sun is bright today, playing with that wind. He had his glove up, trying to shield, but also trying to make sure that he keeps drifting with the ball.
This is the final non-conference weekend for Nebraska. They'll get into Big Ten play starting Friday as Washington comes to Lincoln. A couple of midweeks before that for the Huskers. Into the high afternoon sky. Nick English. 2 up, 2 down. Back to the top of the Nebraska order for Nunez. That's just a product, Hargy, of this bloated Big Ten that March 7th would be your conference opener.
As you said, I think a lot of them look more towards those midweek than all those conference games. But, you know, if you can go on there and you play well in your conference, the new Big Ten, it bodes well for you because you've also brought in some really good baseball teams within the conference as well. Basketball, too.
Really all sports. You've got talent. With the additions, Washington, the opponent for Nebraska next weekend. The Huskies are in Vegas this weekend as part of our other Heat Events tournament in week 3 of the season. Also available on d1baseball.com. We'll hear from Mike Farron and Mike Rooney later on today. First pitch is about 30 minutes away there in Sin City. Got him swinging. 3 up, 3 down for the second time today for Lincoln Sheffield.
Sheffield has been very, very impressive today.
Latest victim, Devin Nunez, second time today that he's been a strikeout foe. It's 6-1 Kansas State over Nebraska through 5 in Frisco. Beautiful day in Frisco, Texas. Expecting some rain showers later on in the evening, which is why we moved up first pitch by an hour. Was supposed to be 12-4, instead 11-3. Making sure that we can get both games in today before everybody heads home. 70 degrees. The wind blowing out hard to left field. We've seen hitters take advantage of it a few times already.
Yeah, when we got that text last night that the games were going to be moved up, I really didn't realize that the weather was supposed to be bad, because we've been spoiled this entire week and weekend.
One-two grounded to the right side for Shintaro. Brumbaugh fields it over to Sanderson for first down. D. Kennedy has struck out a couple of times today. K's in the first and the third for Kennedy.
Mm.
3-0 the count. Showing bunt, pulls back. Catching the low part of the zone. This time missing low and away, and Kennedy is aboard for the second time in this contest. On Friday, he tried to go first to home rather, against LSU. See him starting out there with a lead, and this is the key here. Pearson cuts it off before it reaches the track. Great throw into Milam, who pivots and gets it to Hernandez to tag Kennedy out before he reaches the plate. That would have been the game-winning run to give the Wildcats a victory over the number 2 ranked LSU Tigers. Instead, it went to 10 and the Tigers win 8-5.
Yeah, that was one of those plays that everything played perfectly by LSU. That was a textbook cutoff and relay to home. Because at that point, it's do or die, basically. Ooh, big cut.
That would have won the game for Kansas State. And Nick English came up next for the Wildcats. Hit a hot shot to the right side of the infield. If Daniel Dickinson doesn't stab that ball, that was another great defensive play. Then Dardar comes around to score, and the Wildcats win. Just inches away in 2 consecutive at-bats.
No doubt.
But Pete Hughes and K-State had to flush it and come back yesterday, where they were on fire against Sam Houston. Dardar with one to the gap in right center. Kennedy gets the go sign. He'll score. Wildcats up 7-1 over the Cornhuskers. An RBI double from Dardar.
Something's going on right now. This is the same kind of situation that we had before, where I'm curious to if it has anything to do with the bat throw again. Because the last time there was a situation, there was a thrown bat, and they came out to talk about it, and it was the same batter, Dardar, that was having the conversation.
Well, Eddie Newsom's going to explain it on both sides. I'm not a good lip reader, Harji.
Yeah, and I'm way too far away for me to be able
I got
to
the
read.
binoculars trained on them, and I'm sure we have a zoom lens somewhere available. There we go.
I'm just curious about that whole sequence right there.
If you are a better lip reader than us, send us a text. Send us a tweet. Let us know what Will Bolt and Eddie Newsom are talking about.
Yeah, I'm really curious about that.
Well,
because it's the same batter.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why I would even reference that,
Yeah.
for those that missed it the other day.
Well, you may want to head down to the post-game press conference. You can be the first question.
What happened?
Christo's day is done after issuing an RBI double to Dardar and increasing the Kansas State lead to 7-1. We'll tell you about the new pitcher for Nebraska in a moment. You're watching the Frisco College Baseball Classic exclusively on D1Baseball.com.
We have a beautiful hospital, a hospital that was designed not to look like a healthcare facility. It has a warm and welcoming environment for our guests and our patients that come in, but it's really what's inside that building that makes the biggest difference. We have a dedicated group of professionals here that have been going above and beyond for this community for the past 2 years since we've been open, and really have a passion for providing outstanding care in a warm and welcoming environment.
Luke Broderick on to pitch for Nebraska. Third appearance on the season. Just 1 1/3 innings of work. But a perfect ERA to his credit. No runs on 1 hit, combined with his performances against Vanderbilt and Grand Canyon. Both of those coming on opening week, as Nebraska was in Arizona for 4 games. 3 at the MLB Desert Invitational, followed by a road game at GCU. Bear Madliak will step in. And Madliak, the last time he came up, Harji, struck out after a couple of balls that he thought were outside the zone. And on 2 consecutive pitches, he already took a couple of steps towards first, assuming that he had walked. Runners off on the first pitch, no throw, uncontested, a stolen base for Dardar.
Yeah, he had a good jump there on second base for the stolen base, but to your point, you're right. And then he comes back and swings over the top of a ball and was very frustrated with himself for swinging at that, but then he has to go back and spend some time behind home plate.
And that's the question. I guess it's just an individual thing there, but does Eddie Newsome let that affect him when Madliak is catching, or do you simply erase it, chalk it up to the game, and reset?
I think you definitely chalk it up to the game, and you probably have a couple of discussions in between there. You can ask some questions. You can say, where'd you have those pitches? You build that relationship back up and say, hey, I lost my cool on that one. What was that? You know, you work that back into your favor, because let's not forget, you got to come up in this situation now.
1-2 pitch coming to Madliak. Infield pulled in against him as Nebraska is doing whatever it can to keep the Wildcats from adding another run, as the Huskers trail by 6 in the 6th inning. Ball and 2 strikes. In the dirt. Seth Dardar standing at second after a double, then stole third. That's where he resides right now. 2-2 pitch into left field. Dardar will come in to score thanks to Bear Madliak. KSU pads the lead even more. It's 8-1 Cats over the Huskers.
That's why you flush it and come back and get another at bat. Come up in a big time situation and drive in a run. Good at bat right there. He leaked out a little bit on the breaking ball earlier, took it, and then got a pitch that was elevated and drove it into left field for an RBI base hit.
Here's English, who has scored in all 3 of his appearances so far today, and does not have an official at-bat to his credit. He walked twice, reached on an error, so that's an 0-1 for English. English this time to the second baseman Brumbaugh, and then on to Sanderson at first. English grounds in to a double play for the first time. He won't come around to score today, but Kansas State does add a couple here in the 6th. Wildcats rolling today over Nebraska, the 292nd meeting in this series.
We have a beautiful hospital, a hospital that was designed not to look like a healthcare facility. It has a warm and welcoming environment for our guests and our patients that come in, but it's really what's inside that building that makes the biggest difference. We have a dedicated group of professionals here that have been going above and beyond for this community for the past 2 years since we've been open, and really have a passion for providing outstanding care in a warm and welcoming environment.
Go Tigers.
8-1, Wildcats over the Cornhuskers. Game 5 of 6 at the Frisco College Baseball Classic. It's the Dizzy obstacle course. That guy was about to run the dugout. He's got his helper. Is he going to find the chair?
Yep.
You're dizzy, you're blindfolded, you're scared.
Very uncomfortable feeling.
And that was Husker versus Husker. You got to find a Kansas State fan, too. You got to give the fans something to cheer about on both sides. If it's two Huskers going against each other, I mean, that was fun altogether. It made everybody laugh, but I do like it when they pull a fan from either side for those games. Sanderson, Brumbaugh, and Frost due to the plate for the Huskers. Sanderson flies to center. He is 0 for 3 on the day.
He's got to be happy with that one, though, because of the fact that he hit the ball hard to center field. Good feeling. Not happy, but a good feeling.
Lincoln Sheffield rolling along on the bump. Just the one run given up on 4 hits through 5 1/3. 6 strikeouts, and most importantly, Harji, no walks.
That has been the biggest part of it. It's almost like he's in his rocking chair. He's getting up there, getting ready to go. Smooth delivery.
Leaping, Kennedy makes the play and bounces it in to Vasco, adding to an already outstanding weekend on defense at this tournament.
You could tell right away when D. Kennedy was throwing that ball, he was going to try to skip it. Now, I didn't think he was going to skip it that close, but I thought it was going to be a little bit further out. But a nice play by Vasco over at first base to pick that.
The appreciation there you saw from Sheffield pumping his fist after that effort from Kennedy and Vasco. After the leap, Kennedy wound up in foul ground and maybe steadied himself with that front foot on the bag to be able to make that play.
No doubt.
Here's Frost.
With that shift.
Yep. Got Shintaro playing a third of the way to the wall in right. You see him out there. And then Nick English, the right fielder, positioned closer to center field. Big hack from Frost. A 1-2-3 inning for Lincoln Sheffield. He's through 6 innings of work with now 7 strikeouts.
Another big breaking ball from that young man. He's in the rhythm for sure.
Spitting it in at 2,500 revolutions. Wildcats up big. Trivia question is presented by the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. This forces you to do some math. Combined postseason appearances between the Wildcats and the Cornhuskers. Add it up. Consider your answer, and we will present that after this half inning. I've been forced to do some math this weekend, Hart. That is usually something I leave to my son. He is the math whiz in the family.
We didn't have to do as much as we had to last weekend that we were possibly going to have to do if the run differential and the game and everything else that was involved in it.
See, that to me is, it ended up being wasted time. I did all the math in the morning before I left the hotel on day 3 in Round Rock, because I didn't want to have to do it later when my brain power had evacuated even more. But as it turned out, the final game was the winner-take-all championship. We didn't have to do any of those run differential tiebreakers. Today, different story. No true championship game in this tournament as we got last week with Oklahoma and Virginia in Round Rock. LSU has already clinched the belt. They're 2-0 on the weekend. If the Tigers lose to Sam Houston today and drop to 2-1, and Kansas State holds on to beat Nebraska, they would both be 2-1, but of course LSU would have the head-to-head tiebreaker over the Wildcats and would earn the belt. 3-1 count to A.J. Avasco. Big hack at high heats. 3-2. Reaching back and bringing that one at 94. Broderick on the bump. Three-two pitch. Fouled off by Vasco.
Oh, wow, I thought there was net all the way down there. I guess there's not.
Vasco going oppo in the 4th on to the terrace. Looking to do some more damage here. His team leading by 7, and he'll take a free pass. Our official scorekeeper is Larry Little, and he'll drop in from time to time with nuggets. Wanted to talk about how much time Nebraska has spent on the field compared to Kansas State. You always want to get your defense off as quickly as possible.
Absolutely.
Nebraska, entering this inning, had its defense out there for 1 hour and 1 minute. Kansas State has only been out there for 26 minutes on defense. O'Connor grounds foul.
Yeah, as a defensive player, you do not want to be out on the field a lot. The one part about it is they're not walking a ton of guys. They did that 1 inning, and that probably elevated the time a little bit more. That's the part that makes it unsettling as a defender, because then you're on your heels, you're not engaged, and you're just hoping that they can throw strikes.
O'Connor watches that one go by. Breaking pitch to retire the K-State left fielder.
That was an outstanding breaking ball. 86-mile-an-hour curveball right over the top. Kind of froze him and locked him up. Boom, strike three.
Catches the outside part of the zone to O'Connor. Here's Kyan Lotus. Missing low to him on the first pitch. (1-0) to the 9-hole hitter for Kansas State. Kyan talked a great deal in yesterday's press conference about loyalty to this program, Harji.
Mm-hmm.
In this age of the portal, everybody is a free agent after every season. But Kyan would never leave Kansas State, making that perfectly clear. Grounds into a double play to end top of the seventh. It is stretch time in Frisco, Texas. Nebraska will grab the bats. Dylan Carey will lead things off, followed by Dave Swanson and Red Stokes, hoping that latest DP on defense leads to some offense in the bottom half. All right, you added it up. This is a Cystic Fibrosis Foundation trivia question. We want to know the combined postseason appearances for the Wildcats and the Cornhuskers. Hardy, you have a guess?
I'm going to go 12.
I'm going to go big. I'll go D. 22.
22. Good job. Good job.
That's outside of Omaha.
Yep.
We've got a lot of history between the four teams here. Why not go with the biggest number available?
Why not? You're right.
Got to think bigger, Harji. Come on.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
Carey, Swanson, and Stokes for Nebraska. Running out of outs here in their Frisco Classic finale. Huskers have a couple of midweeks coming up before Big Ten play begins next weekend. One of their shortest road trips possible on Tuesday, as they'll be at Omaha, and then on Wednesday they'll host South Dakota State. Friday, the three-game set with Washington begins. Carey was absolutely robbed yesterday by the Fighting Tigers. I know you were blown away by this.
I was blown away by that because it was an unbelievable play up the middle.
This time, Carey leaves no doubt. Can't rob him when you hit it over the wall. Carey with his first home run of the season, Harji.
You know, you talk about the wind and the gust. That ball needed no help. That ball was smoked right off the bat, right away. Nice, short, compact swing. For the first one of the year, that ball was exploded over the left field wall.
.365 to left. off the bat of Carey.
Big time pop right there. Carey got robbed last night, and as you said, couldn't rob him over the fence.
Left side of the infield for Kennedy. Charges. They'll call it foul. And
I call it fair.
Okay, well, Swanson remained in the box. I assumed he heard something.
Which is now it's about to be another one of those conversations. We'll see.
And they'll let Swanson go back to the dugout. The call is out, even though Swanson never left the box. Dylan Carey knocking this one on to the terrace. Home run number 1 of the season. And pulls the Huskers within 6 of K-State. Some LSU fans hanging out in the terrace, getting ready for the late game today. Stokes grounds out to third. No, Vasco can't scoop it. A rare defensive miscue by D. Kennedy.
Yeah, he double pumped himself on the shuffle. And when he was coming through to make the throw, he was not able to do so. And it could not be picked this time over at first base.
Stokes reaches on an error. Silva will sit down in favor of Will Jeske. Missing into him. The sophomore hometown product from Lincoln delivers a base hit, and he's heading to second. A double for Jeske in his pinch hit role. Stokes into third.
Jeske came in the other night and got a base hit in his pinch hit role. And does it again this time. He gets a double. Another hard hit ball.
And another pinch hitter for Nebraska. Colin Cymbalista steps in for Helixo. Big red chance coming up here at Riders Field. Runners on second and third. We are late into this ball game, but there's no clock on this thing. Huskers in it until the final out is recorded. And they have finally been able to chase Lincoln Sheffield.
Great outing by Sheffield of 7K, 79 pitches. Big time performance again by their starting pitchers for the K-State Wildcats.
Sheffield helped K-State beat TCU a week ago in Arlington. Now 45 minutes northeast in Frisco. Another great performance. Leaves his team in position to beat Nebraska. Leonard Ishii his replacement in a moment. You're watching the Frisco College Baseball Classic.
Ran up by the Lux Nessa up the highest metric. The city just made it sweet, you could diabetic. They mouths were full of deceit. Let these cowards tell it. Walking New Orleans with the etiquette, the LA. Second bad, but somebody gotta do it. Get my foot up on the gas, but somebody gotta do it.
Kansas State will put James Guyette on the hill after a tremendous performance by Sheffield. Again, the numbers 6 1/3. Allowed 2 runs, both of those earned with 6 hits, striking out 7. And we'll take a look at some of those strikeout pitches here, Hardy.
Yeah, he's got good life. He had good life on all of his pitches. He had spotting on location, good breaking ball, good life on the fastball. He did exactly what they needed him to do. And if they make a couple plays in this inning, he might still be out there. That breaking ball right there was outstanding.
Joshua Overbeek will step in for Nebraska. Cymbalista had reported, but they lift him in favor of Overbeek.
Now they burned him too.
Yeah.
Good breaking ball right there, keeping him off balance. Overbeek ready to try to drive in these runs to cut this in half.
James Guyette, first batter he's facing in this relief appearance. Gets him swinging.
Kept making the ball go away from him. Kept a good dive away from that changeup and kept swinging over it. Outstanding work right there. Now let's see if he can do it again.
Fifth appearance of the season for Guyette on the mound. We saw him on Friday. The Wildcats played LSU here. Gave up a hit in 2/3 of an inning. Only needed to throw 7 pitches against the Tigers. Top of the order, Nunez. Husker rookie. Hitting .538 entering the day. Limited sample size, 7 of 13. 1 for 3 so far in this one. Oh-2.
Nunez was having a good weekend, as I've said before, and this guy just understands the game. He's got a good approach at the plate. Been stirring up the ball.
Oh-2 pitch coming. Nunez went 3 for 5 yesterday against LSU. 2 for 4 on Friday against Sam Houston. got him looking. Welcome to the ball game, Mr. Guyette. He leaves a pair of Huskers stranded, striking out Overbeek and Nunez. Before his entrance, it was Carey with a solo homer for the Huskers. Kansas State now leads by 6 as we head to the 8th inning. Husker fans getting some sun today. Perfect 1-4. It's out on the berm here at the Frisco College Baseball Classic. I'm sure he is checking Frisco Classic Twitter feed right now. Daniel Amador handling that downstairs at Peak headquarters. Double barrel action for him all weekend, Harji. He is clipping highlights from this game, all the games here in Frisco, and all the games in Vegas.
Wow. You talk about busy.
A busy social media man. We'll check in on Vegas as they are underway. First game of the day, Illinois and Texas. Fighting Illini up 1-0. They are the designated visiting team today. The Illini scoring on a wild pitch with 2 out as Mike Farron sets the defense for Illinois in this one. Mike Farron, Mike Rooney teaming up in Sin City. And you do have the ability to open up a couple of browser windows. Check out both games here on D1Baseball.com. Maximus Martin making sure that you stay with us here in Frisco. Yes, the Las Vegas games are going to be great, but Maximus wants to make sure that you remain locked in to the Frisco College Baseball Classic, and he delivers his second home run of the season.
Have a day, Maximus Martin. You start the game off with a double, and they're giving him the silent treatment pretty much until he gets inside the dugout. They're happy for him. That young man is having a day as he was put in the leadoff spot today.
.390. The left center for Maximus. Now here's Shintaro, who also knows how to get a hold of a baseball. He's made one wet.
We've got some defensive changes for you on the field. Overbeek stays in and he goes to third base. Brumbaugh moves from second base to center field, where Stokes is now playing second base, and Jeske is catching.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Another mound visit for Nebraska. Shintaro, as I mentioned, got this ball moist yesterday. Kerplunk into the Rough Riders' lazy river. That happened in the 9th inning. The back end of consecutive homers for Ryan Lotus and Shintaro. And he'll have a chance to head back to the dugout, reset, as Nebraska enters with a new pitcher. We'll set up the situation in the top of the 8th inning following Maximus Martin's home run. 9-2, the Wildcat lead.
Ran up by the Luxonessa up the highest metric. The city just made it sweet, you could diabetic. They mouths were full of deceit. Let these cowards tell it. Walk in New Orleans with the etiquette, the LA yelling. Oh, man. Second bad, but somebody gotta do it. Got my foot up on the gas, but somebody gotta do it.
Maximus Martin with a 390-foot shot on to the berm in left at Riders Field. That leads to a pitching change for Nebraska. Casey Dice coming on, his first appearance of the season. Last year, made 21 trips to the mound for Nebraska. 5.01 ERA, 0-2. Gets into the game with his squad trailing by 7 in the top of the 8th. It's Shintaro on a ground out. Now D. Kennedy.
D. Kennedy's had 2 strikeouts and 2 walks, so he's trying to do a little something right now. He's got some big-time power. We saw that on Friday. Seems to have found a home at K-State.
Kennedy grounds to the shortstop. Carey gets it over to Sanderson. I am contemplating my all-tournament ballot, Hardy, and I know you got to hit the road after this one. Not going to be with us for Game 6, so be sure to get that in.
Yep.
Or just so you can give full consideration to all 6, you're probably going to get home before the deadline. The way you drive.
That might be true, my friend.
Got to get
might
in
be
by
right.
the 7th inning of our finale. So just
I'll keep that
in
open.
mind. And if you're listening to us as you head down and you realize you're not going to make it, pull over, get the hot spot going, get that ballot in. Here's Seth Dardar. He doubled and brought home a run last time up.
We've seen some great performances this weekend, both at the plate and on the mound. And so, to your point, there's a lot to be considered strictly because of all the talent that we've seen this weekend.
Always the case. Peak events never fails to bring in an incredible group of teams to all of their tournaments. The history between these 4 teams here this weekend. Opposite field for Dardar. His 3rd hit of the day. And the ball gets away. He's going to try to stretch it to 2. Can't do it. Dardar wants a review.
He's emphatic about it, too.
Convinced that he has the bag. Let's judge it.
We'll see here.
Yeah, I think that tag got on his right side before the left hand got to the base. But they're going to take another look at it. We can see the whole thing from the overhead angle. I want to see how it all came about and what led Dardar to think I should take this chance.
Around to the bag, coming out of the box fast like you're supposed to, thinking that he's going to get a double. But he came to make that throw, and then for him to try to slide in, he believes that he might be there. But that was a great avoidance of the tag, the way he went around the bag to avoid and tried to slide on that backside. But he was emphatic about it, though. He thought for sure he was safe.
Ryan Broussard is right on top of it.
Right.
Can't be in better position here.
Because this is the part right here where he avoids him, tries to avoid him right there. But then he wasn't on the bag yet, so that would be a great point. He was trying to make sure.
Even though he was right on it, Ryan Broussard, the umpire there, is blocked a bit from that tag on the far side.
Called him out.
The call stands. Dardar out at second. Trying to turn that single into 2 bases. Opposite field, single as Swanson veers his right, slide down, the throw in offline, and Dardar tries to take advantage of it, but does not reach the base in time. The review leads to the call standing, and Kansas State is done here in the 7th. They get a homer from Maximus Martin to extend the lead to 9-2, heading to the bottom of the 8th in Frisco.
Go Tigers.
Texas Health Hospital Frisco, proud to sponsor the Frisco College Baseball Classic and provide the very best in healthcare with a quality of service that goes above and beyond your expectations. We've taken care of this community in its greatest time of need and will continue to do so in the years to come. I'm Chris Mikoski, Mike Harge alongside at Riders Field in Frisco, Texas. Exclusive coverage of the Frisco Classic on D1Baseball.com. In Las Vegas, Texas has tied things up after 1 inning of play. Adrian Rodriguez coming through with an RBI through the right side in the bottom half of the 1st. Mike Farron, Mike Looney on the call there. exclusive coverage of both of these tournaments this weekend, just like we had a couple of tournaments last weekend on D1Baseball.com. It was the Round Rock Classic and the Jacksonville Classic. Both of those tournaments won by SEC teams.
Mm-hmm.
Oklahoma in Round Rock, Alabama in Jacksonville. LSU has clinched the Frisco championship. And in Vegas, UT enters day 3 at 2-0. Could have an SEC sweep on our hands.
Well, as many teams are ranked in the top 25, you would think that would happen in a lot of these tournaments.
Well, Illinois is 1-1 on the weekend. Texas 2-0. So Fighting Illini still fighting for that belt in Vegas. Texas Tech is 1-1 as well. They climbed to 2-1. We could have to do some run differential math here in Sin City. Got to call on some people who count cards at the blackjack table.
That would be the time right now.
UT trying to make sure that's not necessary. Go 3-0. Don't have to worry about it, and you're bringing the belt back to Austin. Sanderson hit by the pitch. Now a chance for Brumbaugh. That would make my week, Harji, because I know we're going to get the belt in our broadcast booth later today. Nathan Wooldridge is going to come up, the VP of Peak Events, show off the hardware.
Right.
It is a possibility that this week I get to spend time with both belts, the Frisco belt and the Vegas belt. I'll be on the call Friday as this one goes almost right to you, Harji.
I saw it.
Didn't reach out and try to get a souvenir, though.
No, didn't want the smoke. Did not want the smoke.
I'll be calling Texas and Santa Clara Friday, and you know if the Longhorns win, I'm going to be asking for them to bring that up for me to use as a prop in the Open. So that's my dream scenario as somebody who loves Peak Events, to have 2 belts in 1 week.
That would be pretty cool. Now that you say it like that.
1-2. You're right. Here comes English. Out goes Shintaro. Shintaro can't make it with his back to the plate. Does get second to retire Sanderson.
Wow, those are those tough plays right there. We've been talking about the win the entire time. And that was one of those that the ball, he was there, but he was like, should I keep going or should I stop? But luckily with that type of play, you can still get the force at second base. Just your routine fielder's choice.
Here's Frost. His weekend has been anything but routine. Started off the tournament with a pair of home runs against Sam Houston.
Ooh.
Delivers a hit to center. 2-1 with 1 out for Nebraska in the 8th.
That is literally one of those chuck and duck type of pitches right there. Threw it in and shot right back up the middle. Textbook.
And now Frost with at least 1 hit in each game of the Frisco Classic after entering the weekend hitless on the season. 2 hits on Friday versus the Bearcats, 3 last night against LSU, and then 1 here against Kansas State. Dylan Carey had a home run his last time up. A 1 into the outfield. Brumbaugh will score. RBI double for Carey, following up his home run in the 7th with another run scored here in the 8th. Nebraska within 6.
Carey's been aggressive all day long. Got a pitch that he can handle. Breaking ball, just like his home run was a breaking ball. Now he follows it up with a double down the line on a breaking pitch as well.
Swanson is done for Nebraska, and Hayden Lewis will step in for the Huskers. Lewis, sophomore outfielder. Named twice to the Scholar Honor Roll in Lincoln. This would be his third at bat. Had a couple last weekend at ULL and is still searching for his first hit on the year. An opportunity to get that with 2 men in scoring position. One. Fouled back by Lewis.
Big hack right there by Lewis. Just trying to find a gap right there.
Academic all Big Ten selection. Lewis at the plate with his team trailing by 6 runs. Bottom of the 8th. So much history between these two teams. Nebraska has won 174. Kansas State 117. The second baseman, Shintaro. The run will score. RBI ground out by Lewis. Frost comes home. And the Huskers now trail by 5.
Chipping away, right? A lot of work to do, but
yeah, only 4 outs left to work with.
Yeah.
Carey has made his way around to third. And Rhett Stokes will try to do something here. He had a single in the second and then manufactured a run. Stole a base, advanced on a wild pitch. Scored the first run for Nebraska. (2-0). Tapped foul. Entered the weekend with a team-leading batting average. Check myself there. I meant last season led the team in batting average. 360 was the total for Stokes in 2024. Named to the All Big Ten tournament team and the All Stillwater regional team. But has had a hard time getting that bat going here this season. Out at first, unable to play Carey. Nebraska does get a pair in the 8th. They're within 5 of K-State at the Frisco College Baseball Classic. Latest play from Kennedy on to Vasco for the third out. K-State will send up Madliak, English, and Vasco in Frisco.
We have a beautiful hospital, a hospital that was designed not to look like a healthcare facility. It has a warm and welcoming environment for our guests and our patients that come in, but it's really what's inside that building that makes the biggest difference. We have a dedicated group of professionals here that have been going above and beyond for this community for the past 2 years since we've been open, and really have a passion for providing outstanding care in a warm and welcoming environment.
Nebraska trailing Kansas State 9-4. Ninth inning about to begin at Riders Field in Frisco. One more to go after this one is complete. You can see the LSU Fighting Tigers beyond that fence walking into the ballpark right now. They'll face Sam Houston. Scheduled for a 3 o'clock start time. If this one runs past 1:50, which looks like will happen, then start your clocks at 70 minutes. But barring some late fireworks here, Harji, will be pretty close to that scheduled start time, 3 o'clock Central. Tigers in the building.
Yes, they are.
I believe they got the Sunday golds on. Classic look for the Tigers. Look back at some of the greatest moments in LSU baseball history. They got the gold tops and the white pants. Left side of the infield for Overbeek. On to Sanderson. Retire Madliak. So I mentioned I'm working on my all-tournament team balance.
Yep.
Here's the problem. You put 4 infielders, 3 outfielders, and a catcher. All right?
Yep.
There's yet to be a catcher who has really shown me much of anything.
Offensively.
Yes. Yeah. There's been some offensive play, and we might go back to that as justification to put them on the team. You like to have a good mix.
Yep.
Madliak may end up as my all-tournament catcher by default. He did have a RBI today, and earlier in the week, a couple of hits against LSU. Scored yesterday against Sam Houston. Nothing spectacular, but you have to have a catcher.
That is true. And that's why I said, well, you might want to look at defense, what was happening. You know, he also was the catcher between 2 pitchers that pitched outstanding today.
Yeah.
Or yesterday and today.
Yeah.
So he played his role. So I'm making the case for the young man, I guess you would say.
No, I think he has my vote as of now. Huskers will go to the pen one more time. This will be pitcher number 6 on the day for Nebraska as they try to hold Kansas State from adding any insurance runs in the 9th inning. We will step aside and then introduce you to the new pitcher. Huskers and Wildcats. It's Game 5 of the Frisco College Baseball Classic.
Ran up out of luck soon as I up the highest metric. The city just made it sweet, you could die better. They mouths were full of deceit. Let these cowards tell it. Walking New Orleans with the etiquette, the LA yelling. Saying bad, but somebody gotta do it. Got my foot with that, somebody gotta do it.
Second appearance of the weekend for Jalen Worthley, junior lefty out of Lincoln. Second appearance again. He came in on Friday against Sam Houston, a 1 1/3 innings of work, giving up 1 run on 2 hits. Struck out 1 Bearcat and didn't walk any. Simple task of getting 1 more out, getting the bat back in the hands of the Huskers. LSU waiting on deck out at the home run terrace. Getting in some pregame smoothies, it looks like. New pitch hitter for K-State as well, as Nebraska changed things on the bump. And in the batter's box, it's David Bishop. Bishop, the fly ball into center field. Brought in, and that's it for K-State. In the 9th, Nebraska down by 5. Bottom of the order, due up for the Huskers. Nebraska and Kansas State in Game 5 of the Frisco College Baseball Classic. Blake Dean will try to close this one for Kansas State. Second time we've seen him this weekend. 2 innings of work against LSU on Friday afternoon, allowing 2 runs, 1 earned on 3 hits. 5th appearance overall this season. Best outing of the year was his longest, 3 2/3, as Kansas State knocked off Arkansas last Friday in Arlington. And runs on 3 hits, struck out 5 Razorbacks that day, and didn't walk any Hogs.
Got to come in and throw strikes and be able to do that effectively, just so you can build on what your repertoire is and then get an opportunity to know situationally if you're going to be a guy that can come in. So it's basically everybody's trying out.
Missing away to Will Jeske. Jeske entered for Silva in the 7th and provided a double. Was eventually left stranded in the 7th inning. See the playground out there here at Riders Field. Got him looking. First man that Dean sees. He strikes out.
Hey, look at that spin on that breaking ball, top of the zone, too. Raised him up. He knew it, too.
Joshua Overbeek for Nebraska.
That one hurt.
Yeah. Still looks like he's in pain, but he's going to head down to first. Remain in this ball game. Yeah, ouch. You're padded up on the elbow.
Everywhere.
Nothing about that one. Right below the batting glove. That was smart for a while.
Yeah.
As soon as this half inning is over, Mr. Overbeek's going to get some ice on that wrist. That's in front of the peak porch. And Nebraska is not dead yet. Racing around. Nunez, just in case that wasn't a homer over the wall, wanted to make sure he got around to score.
Well,
look at it, though, Hargy.
Yeah, it looks interesting because I'm watching the third base umpire, and he's acting like it's not a home run. It went above the yellow line and hit the back wall. I don't know how it wouldn't have been.
Well, look at this. He gets a sign for dugout, and a home run trot turned into a sprint.
I was watching Brinkminster, as the ball was coming out, he put it like safe.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how?
It's a home run regardless. But that'll go down as an inside the Parker. We have official word. Inside the park home run by Nunez. And yeah, that certainly appeared to get over. There is a little gap between the padding on the outfield fence and the railing that fans will lean against. And that's kind of the danger zone there. It's a hard call to make for an umpire.
Yeah.
Strikeout looking to Sanderson, 2 down. So I would imagine, Hargy, had Nunez not raced around and reached home, that it would have gone to review. But in this case, it wasn't necessary.
Right.
Same result.
Same result. But it would have been even more so because I saw the third base coach was looking at the umpire because he too thought it was out, and then there was that discussion. But nonetheless, Nunez was running around the bases to make sure that he got credited for his home run.
Saw the trot all the way to second, and then a brief moment on the way to third. The Nebraska dugout all screaming, "Go, go, go!" And he went. Brumbaugh trying to check his swing there. Lifts one to left. And this should do it. Brought in by O'Connor. And Kansas State finishes the weekend 2-1. Wildcats open a heartbreaking loss to LSU. Inches away twice from lifting a belt today as Frisco Classic champions. They shake it off, rebound, have a lot of firepower yesterday against Sam Houston, and equally so today against Nebraska.
Yeah, they did an unbelievable job, and they continue to pound the baseball, and this is something that they can build on. We've seen 3 games with back-to-back home runs, but we also saw 2 games back-to-back with great starting pitching for K-State. So good stuff by the Wildcats this weekend.
They've enjoyed Texas, safe to say, as K-State won 3 last weekend in Arlington over Arkansas, Michigan, and TCU. And this weekend in Frisco, while they did drop a game to LSU, they earned wins over Sam Houston and Nebraska. 5-1 in their 2 trips to Texas here in the early portion of the 2025 season. We are back in a little over an hour for the finale of the Frisco Classic. It's Sam Houston and LSU to close things out. We'll see you then here on D1Baseball.com.